Side with Quentin Newsom.
Quentin, how you doing?
All right, questions for Quentin?
What's the energy been like since conditioning started? What have you seen from there?
I think the energy has been great from everybody, just all of the new faces, just the amount of excitement that the team has, and just the bond we're building with each other. It's been great leading up to this because we've all been waiting to see what everybody can do. So,
Your room, the secondary room's really been remodeled with some new guys. What has that done for your do, and what have you seen out of those guys so far?
The new faces, they've been bringing more competition, so it makes one person go harder. It's just made the room way more competitive in many ways. I would say it's just changed just because of new faces, so we trying to get really close like we used to be. So and we've really been working toward that during the off season, and I think everything coming along.
What's it like to be the old guys or the guys that has all the most experience?
It feels good. I would say it's completely different from last year, considering that I was a young guy, I was a new guy. I'm playing with all these old guys, and now it's just like complete opposite. So I really just try to do what they did for me by helping all the younger guys, all the new faces and everything. So it's a great experience.
Where are you in that kind of leadership group? Who are some of the other faces that are stepping up to be alongside you?
I would say that Miles Farmer is helping out with that. Bryson Clark, Noah Gates, just kind of older guys who've been around for a while. They helping me out with that a lot.
What do you think is one of the things that you can teach these younger guys that they need to learn to make this team better?
I think that I could teach them how to just stay focused and just be determined and just play to the last play. Like that's really what we needed to work on last year, and just staying focused.
What did you learn about leadership from the older guys who have left the program?
I learned basically that everybody's watching you, so it's completely different. So you gotta change the way you move. You gotta just do things differently because there are people really looking up to you and watching everything you do. They want to be just like you, basically. So
what have you done differently? How have you changed the way you move?
Basically stepping in that leadership role. I wasn't as vocal as I am now last year. So I would say that vocally I really stepped up into that position and taking over the secondary.
Javier Morton, he knew you and Miles previously, right?
Yeah.
What do you know about him, and what's he been like since he arrived?
Me and Javi, we played together in high school on 7-on-7 team, so we've been knowing each other for a little minute. So yeah, that's what I would say. But I know that he brings a great competitive. He's a great competitive player, and he gonna give it his all every time, and he just wants to learn everything. He trying to soak it up like a sponge. So,
Quentin, what have you really wanted to work on from last season and kind of showcase this spring on the field?
I just wanted to focus on everything that I needed to work on, from alignments to making more plays on the ball. I've been studying my technique and just trying to work on the things I need to fix. So.
What kind of techniques, I guess, do you want to kind of clean up?
I would say just working on my press man, different zone schemes that we do, and yeah, stuff like that.
Hey, Quentin, what's that overall feeling that you get from the defense out there today? I mean, it's not just the secondary where there's a lot of experienced guys who are no longer there.
I think it made everybody realize that we need people to step up, and we need people to just play bigger roles than what they had the previous year. So I think that just made a lot of people go harder because there are a lot of spots that are open, and we're waiting for people to attack and just keep on being focused and determined to get the spot.
You guys had so many big personalities in the secondary last year.
Yeah.
Where are those in the defense this year?
I would say they all on the defense. Just because all of the new guys, so everybody's just bringing the different vibes to the team, and it's interesting.
So what are you guys doing to kind of help those personalities mesh together?
What are we trying to do to help everybody come together?
Yeah, like kind of mesh those personalities. Like you say, you got a lot of big personalities.
Yeah.
So what are you guys kind of doing to like trying to get that cohesion?
I mean, we've been spending a lot of time together, so I would say that. But even outside of football, we play the game with each other, blah, blah, blah. We'll go out, we'll go bowling, we'll go to the mall. We'll just do things like that to just come close as a team.
You said there's a lot of spots open. Do you consider your spot to be open?
I would consider nobody's spots to be taken. So even my spot. So everything is competitive, and they made that obvious. So.
What did a guy like Marquise Buford show last year, just in his first year in the program?
I would think Marquise Buford, he showed everybody that he was a dog and he's willing to play in any position you put him in. He just wants to make a play. He wants to get on the field and just show what he could do. And he's really gotten better. He's knowing the defense more. He's a special teams guy. He gives it all every time.
Anything else for Quinn? All right, thanks, Quinn.
Thank you.
Got probably 6 or 7 players coming, and if timing works, we'll bring them all to the podium, and most of them will have 2 minutes outside. Okay, questions for Romer?
What's your first impressions of Coach Applewhite?
I think he's a very good dude, very high motive, active. I'm excited to have him as my coach. So those the things I describe my coach.
How would you describe that new group of coaches? Like if you had to pick a word or phrase to describe just how they mesh together.
Energetic, very energetic, ready to get things done, and that's what.
Do you think it was needed? Do you think that new energy was needed?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as you saw last year, we was in some close games, and we just needed, some different. We just needed a change and a difference, and I say we got that, and I'm just looking forward to see how this season's going to play out.
Ramir, how frustrating was it for you to sort of establish yourself in the middle of last year and then miss the last couple of games?
Yeah, I was very devastated the last couple of games. I thought, those 2 games I was really excited to play, and to not play, I was really, sad. Just walking around here, just moping around and stuff. But I'm excited to be back, and I can't wait for this new year, honestly.
With the new coach,
as your workload went up last year, did you learn anything about yourself in that process?
Yeah, I just had a different mindset coming in, and the mindset was just basically just, kill everything and work hard. So,
with the new coach coming in, the new coordinator, and then obviously at least one new back that's joined the roster, I mean, do you feel that competition? What is that competition like right now at running backs?
I mean, competition is always needed. It elevates your game, and I'm just excited to work with these new guys, work with the new coaches, work with the new players, and elevate my game, and hopefully elevate their games as well.
You said this team needed change. What needed to change in the running back room?
We just need somebody to push us, push each other, actually. I say change, but I mean, it was good last year with how we had the coaches last year, but this year is, just something different. And I think, something different, you just got to learn how to adjust to it. So I won't say we needed anything, but it's good to have, a new coach, new face, new dynamics, and just get used to what we're about to get into for the rest of the year.
What's different about Coach Applewhite?
Like I said, he's energetic. He's like an uncle in the field. He'll get on you. He's gonna praise you. So I'm just excited for that.
Hey, Ramir, last spring was kind of frustrating for the backs in that, a lot of guys were hurt, missing time. I don't know if that set the tone for the months ahead or not, but how important is it over these next 5 weeks for you guys all to be out there, or certainly as many of you as you can, at all these practices?
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm just excited to have, get through the first day of practice and not having, being on the sideline or like just missing things with COVID and stuff like that. So and it's very important to have multiple backs. It's a long season. We need multiple guys. You could have one guy, but everybody brings something different to the table, and I'm just excited to work with all these guys and see what they got to bring on the field.
How much different in terms of like terminology? Like, do you have a lot of new stuff to learn? Some new stuff to learn? How's that been?
As far as like terminology is different, but like play calling, play scheme, it's about the same. Just got to learn how to like take last year and like put it to this year and like just put the new words in front of it instead of having the old lingo we had before.
I know you're looking ahead, but looking back, did you ever have doubts last year when it seemed like down on the depth chart at the start of fall camp and maybe fourth or fifth? What kept you going and believing, I guess?
For me, it's just a mindset thing. I love adversity. I think adversity has pushed my career to where I'm at right now. So, for me, it was just like, once I get back on the field, I'm just going to do what I can do, show the coaches that, I'm a baller, and keep going from there.
Ramiro, what's your read on the returning guys and how they've progressed through winter? Jacquez, Marquise, I know Irvin is coming off of an injury, but what have you seen from those three in particular?
I could tell their mindset is different, especially Yant. He got bigger. He's more faster. You could tell he's more focused and like understanding the play calling, running the play, like getting the play done instead of just running the play and stuff like that. Guys like Step. Pretty much everybody's just like different. It's just a different mindset this year. Everybody's ready to work, ready to kill everything, and show the coaches what we got to help this team win.
In the spring and in camp last year, the coaches talked about you in terms of needing to find a level of consistency. How did you go about that? And then I guess how can you help the guys that maybe behind you or the young guys in the room sort of take that step in their careers?
Right. For me, like I said, it was a mindset thing. I just told myself, the coaches want this, so I'm going to give them this. And what I try to do is just tell everybody, look, this is what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing this every day, all day. Don't stop. Because we need everybody on our team, no matter where they are on the depth chart. We just show the coaches what you got every day, and things going to pay off.
It sounds like you're pretty focused on wanting to be a leader of this group. Is that right? And can you expand on why that's important to you?
It's important to lead because why not? Everybody want to. I can say I'm like the oldest guy in the room. Well, I've been here the longest, so I like to show love back, return love back to the players that's like before me, and I just want to make sure everybody is successful as like how I was. So wherever they at, I just want to make sure they get their mind straight, get their work ethic right, and go from there.
Anything else from Ramiro? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Garrett, what was the first practice like today, just having new coaches and everybody down?
All right, questions for Garrett?
I mean, try to treat it as business as usual. We can, you know, you got to control what you can control. For me personally, that's what I just kind of try to preach to our guys as a leader. You know, there's a lot of outside factors, you know, new coaches, new plays, a lot of new stuff going on. Just focus on what you can do, you know, attitude, effort-wise, control that.
Do you feel like you've always been a vocal guy, less vocal guy, but do you feel like you're in a different role with the number of seniors that have left on your side of the ball?
Yeah, last year there was a ton, like you said, a ton of seniors. You know, I try to help where I could and whatever they told me to do. This year with, you know, a limited amount of seniors, you know, I stepped in that role as a leadership guy on defense and as a team and try to do the best I can.
Notice your voice is missing a little bit there. Do you give a passionate welcome to spring football?
Yeah, no. During mat drills, I lost it yelling at dudes, getting excited. And like you said, try to be vocal. So kind of embracing that fully right now.
What are those like? You know, it looks like some version of fun, being out there early in the morning and doing a tug of war or pulling out a fire or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, with everything going on in the world, especially in the past with the team and just you know, Nebraska football, the eternal optimist in me always comes out. You know, you got to be out there. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be having fun with your boys playing football. That's what it's all about. That's why we started as little kids. So, you know, doing your job, doing it the best of your ability, giving 100% effort and loving what you're doing with the people you're with is, you know, the biggest thing that I try to say as a leader and guys on defense. You know, you love what you're doing with the people you love. Things get pretty easy, and trying to be that guy to start that wave is something I've been trying to get done.
Garrett, from your point of view, what does the defense need to accomplish in spring football to be a winning team?
Obviously, like you said, those seniors left and having some young guys step up into those shoes, you know, get that chemistry back all together. You know, bulk of our experiences with our linebackers, those interior D lineman guys need to step up, get a leader or two in that spot, and then DBs have that back end figure yourself out. Once you figure that out, get that chemistry back and play to our standard that we've set.
Is there a difference between day one this year and day one last year? The feel of new coaches, obviously, on the offensive side.
To be honest with you, I don't really remember much. I hit a lot of dudes, kind of forget some things. But overall, like you said, with those new coaches, kind of that mentality that we have it's just kind of that new feeling, you know what I'm saying? But try not to focus on that, trying to focus on what we can do as a defense with the guys we're with, trying to figure everything out depth-wise, you know, who's going where and how they play and what's going on. That's I guess that's a new feeling.
I'm guessing there's always urgency, but is there more urgency this time around? Where you're at in your career, where the team's at?
Yeah, for me, defensively wise, that black shirt standard, we always have that sense of urgency of getting better and, you know, getting to where we're going. There's really, you know, me personally as a player that I need to spread to the rest of the guys on the team. Then there's been tons of dudes that help me. Is just that overall sense of urgency of getting better and trying to perform to your best every play and every rep. And I guess that new feeling of that overwhelming wave that we're bringing in, you know, both sides of the ball is something new, which is nice.
Is there much difference for you meeting room wise with I mean, it seems like Mike Dawson's responsibilities have shifted a little bit. Like, are you all meeting as one group now, defensive linemen, you guys?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a defensive lineman, or?
You can call me whatever. Yeah, it's having the same voice for that front four, you know, getting the same vocabulary, getting the same plan of what we want to do. You know, having that vocabulary just kind of be consistent through the whole group instead of having two voices is really nice with the flow of everything. You know, when it comes to game time into the fall with plans we want to do, how we want to attack things, I think that's going to help a ton, just having one voice. And, you know, Dawson, with the shifting responsibilities, I don't think he can handle it. He'll be fine. I mean, he's been doing this longer than I've been alive, so I'm not worried about it.
We got a peek at Blaze at the end of last year, and Jamari's a guy who came up a little bit too in conversations. What do you feel about like those guys and pushing depth and where you are as far as kind of building a full room there? That spot.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're blessed as a position group to have that depth. Blaze and Jamar and me and Caleb. Those guys have done a phenomenal job, you know, from that young guy transition to getting reps in games and looking really good right now. Springtime is huge for them to improve their play, get a ton of reps. I would put them on the field right now. I have full confidence in them. They're great guys and great players, and they hold themselves to a huge standard like we try to do as a defense.
What's next for you personally? You've kind of talked about the general defense and stuff. What do you want to do individually where you can take your game up a notch, you think?
Just being more consistent on that pass rush side. You know, being in that elite edge defender in the Big Ten. Not even in the run game, but just pass game as well. Keeping that part of the game with the run defense that I had last year. But personally, as a player, just with that pass rush and getting consistent and being in the backfield and being that presence.
Garrett, in practice, you've chased the same quarterback here for the last 3 years. You got a couple new ones out there today. What did those guys bring, just from your perspective?
They're still fast, so maybe I'm just slow. I don't know, but they do. The first day they did a really good job. Logan and Casey stepping up, and obviously Heinrich and Chuba and all those dudes. I don't know the rotation or what they have, but definitely different feels. You know, Logan likes to run. Casey might stay in there. Heinrich can sling it around. So just kind of knowing who you're going against, who you're rushing against every series is huge. Each of those guys have different strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, everybody does. But it's definitely a different vibe when somebody's back there different now.
Obviously, you're a pretty intense guy. How do you balance that with knowing that more guys are leading up to you or looking up to you now? Do you have to dial that back at all, you think?
Just being a smart leader. You know, obviously I can't be yelling all the time. But, you know, part of being a leader is teaching, you know, young guys, hey, you know, be confident in yourself, trust yourself when you make these calls, break on the ball and know that you're, you know, getting to the ball, run all the time. Just, you know, really simple standard things that, you know, make a great defense, make great players is just, because I remember when being young for me, you know, being out there having no idea what's going on and you're expected to make these huge plays. Just helping guys that transition and getting that out of that mental space is being confident in yourself, just play, be free, you know, go have fun, you know, and obviously with that standard that we have. So
How do you instill confidence in those guys?
just reinforce it. I mean, obviously, when you're out there and you're hearing it from, you know, leader or different guys like, hey, man, you got it. Don't worry about it. You know, they're not going to be questioning themselves when they make a call or a break or something like that.
You didn't get a lot of additions at your particular position, but how does this sort of portal era where, especially in the secondary, for example, a lot of new guys popped in and there's new faces on your defense. Does that add a little boost, you know, going into winter conditioning with new faces, or what's that like for all these new guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out as a player. It's a little different. It's kind of like pro now. You might bring in, you know, free agent guys or whatever, but you know, bringing in some more bodies, guys leaving, coming, going. I'm like I said, still navigating as a player. I'm guessing there's probably gonna be some new faces, you know, by fall. So.
Anything else from Garrett?
What have you seen from Caleb Tanner?
From obviously you saw what he could do last year, and he's improved on that. Getting more weight on him and being more consistent. He's done a great job turning a leaf in the sense of doing everything right every play. Just the coachability he has, everything he's improved and done as a player, as a person.
All good. All right. Thank you, Garrett. We'll have Nick Henrich next.
Good to see you guys.
Continue with defense with Nick Henrich. All right, questions?
Nick, it's
kind of an off-the-wall question, but I got to ask. Your coach is your high school coach is Lieven Burke. Just curious what he meant to the school and you know, all the things that he did for you and your teammates over those years.
Yeah, Coach Lamanji is a guy who I'll keep in touch with for the rest of my life for sure. I mean, he taught me so many things, such as like work ethic and just doing the right thing and being a good man. So I could never repay him for everything he's done for me, and I know how many lives he's impacted, and I know he'll do the same thing at his new school. So.
How special was that year when you guys won the big championship? Everything you guys went through to be able to do that.
Yeah, it was very special. I mean, obviously, like especially with Chris being able there and to be on the same team, and I was really, really close with all those guys. So it was a really special year to get that one for him because I know Coach Lamanji really wanted that too. So it was special.
You and Luke enjoyed strong play up front last year with the D-line. Some of those guys have moved on. Just what are your thoughts on, you know, playing in front of a D-line with some new guys there this year?
Yeah, it's really exciting. A lot of guys are going to get big chances to step up and play more and fill those spots that like Stilly and Damian had last year. So, I mean, it's great. Like today, you can tell the D-line was really hungry and fired up. So it's going to be fun. It's a fun spring.
Anybody impressed you?
Yeah, Nash, really impressive. And obviously, you still got some experience like Ty Robinson, so that's going to be good to have.
Why does Nash come to your mind first?
Big and strong. He takes up bodies up there. So, I mean, I think he's one of the strongest, if not the strongest guy on the team. So he's just got better and better since he's came in. So he's going to have a really big chance this year.
Big crazy team around him weight room moments?
Oh, yeah. Pretty much every week he's in there.
Hey, Nick, just the look you guys got in practice today, how different was it with new offensive coaches, new quarterbacks, a lot of new receivers? I mean, what was it like from your perspective on the other side?
Yeah, it was great. Great to go up against all those guys, some real playmakers. So it was a lot of fun to go up against a different offense kind of than we've been used to the past, 3 years I've been here. Every spring's kind of been pretty similar, and this first practice was a little different, so as far as what they were installing, so it was a lot of fun.
Not trying to give any state secrets here, but generally speaking, what do you think might be different about this Mark Whipple's offense versus what you guys have faced before?
Yeah, I mean, I'd just say early off it was just a lot of downhill running game, which was nice, and it makes you really be gap disciplined as a defense, which is good. So, I mean, that's just going to make us better.
Stand out so far?
Yeah, I mean, Yant running hard. As obviously, it's hard with no pads on. You never really know, but all those guys are doing a really good job hitting the holes fast.
Hey Nick, what does it do? How does it change that second level of the defense to not have JoJo covering up mistakes or doing all the stuff that he does? How does that make your life and Luke's life different operating where you are?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to do your job, and someone's going to have to step up in that role, guys like Isaac or Chris Kolarvik. So, I mean, we're just going to be able to hone in. Spring's all about kind of controlling what you can control and focus on your job. So, as a defense, we're all looking to do that and learn how to mesh and play well together.
To a lot of new guys in the room and everything. How does having that experienced D-line, you guys play together a little bit, how does that kind of benefit you guys going to spring?
Yeah, chemistry is always a big thing. Especially, it's nice to have spring ball to continue to build that chemistry with newer guys like early enrollees. It's always good to continue to build that. So chemistry is huge as a defense.
Played a lot of snaps last year and stayed on the field for a year. So I guess what's the next step for you in your development? Like where do you want to get better?
I mean, yeah, everywhere. I think getting off blocks, finishing tackles are two things I really want to work on. But, I have a lot of room to grow still, and I know that, and I'm really excited for this spring.
You mentioned Larvich there when asked about JoJo role, kind of, but just talk about I know he tested through the roof last year in the winter stuff. Like, what kind of athlete and what do you see out of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great athlete, a great guy. Will do whatever you ask him to do. So he's just, anytime you come and, he played one way at Northern Iowa his whole career, so now I think it was a little adjustment for him, but he's continued to work on it and get better every day. So we're expecting big things out of him this year.
Hey, with Garrett and Luke both kind of nicked up, would Va be the guy kind of working with you right now? Or who's out there working?
It's Va. Yeah, Va's also done a great job just coming in, and when he first came in, he was, he didn't really know the defense too well, but he worked so hard, and now he's communicating at a very high level and playing at a very high level. So I really, really like playing with him.
Anything else for Nick? All right, thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Hey Ty, you're kind of one of the leaders in that room. When did it click on for you? Hey, this is going to be a lot of my responsibility to lead those defensive linemen. How has that gone in the first month or so?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that came up when winter conditioning started. But I mean, watching the old guys like Stilly and Damian Daniels, those guys really helped me kind of understand how to take the role of leadership in that room. It also helps that now that we're combining both the outside linebackers and the interior guys together. So, I mean, I've got guys like Ginelli Blaze and Caleb Tanner in there to help me as well. And Casey's in there too to help me. I mean, he's an older guy too. So I feel like that leadership role is going to be pretty well handled.
Did you notice Garrett Nelson being vocal?
Yeah, he's probably the most vocal guy in our room.
How's that? How do you respond to that? You like that?
I mean, I'm more of like a lead by example type of guy, so I mean, it's kind of good to have that balance. He's going to be the guy that's going to help boost up the team or help boost up a guy that's down. But I mean, I'm going to be there to help you when you're down on yourself, or whether it's a technique or something like that.
What's the craziest thing you did Nash and Mecca do in the weight room?
I saw him squat 800 pounds for 2 times, or 8 plates. Man, it was different.
Besides Nash has been coming on, but are there some, I know it's just the first day, but previous to that, are there some younger guys that you're sort of encouraged in the interior of that they could pop up this spring?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to come to work with their work boots on and their hard hats, because we only got 8 guys in the interior. So, I mean, today everyone got at least around 20 to 30 reps. And, I mean, it showed how out of football shape we are. So guys are just going to have to start thriving and learning how to thrive through the adversity.
What's the next step on the field for you? What area, I guess, do you want to really show off this spring that you've been working on?
Yeah, I feel like my gap integrity last year could have been a little bit better, so really focusing on holding my gap this year. Pass rush as usual. Didn't create enough pressures, enough QB sacks, whatever you want it to be. And then just myself, that leadership role type deal, just kind of learning that as well.
The gap integrity, can you talk on how difficult that is, especially in a conference like the Big Ten with the liberal offensive
yeah,
line?
when you got another 330-pound man trying to push you down or trying to get you out of the way, I mean, it's going to be hard, especially when there's 2 of them. So it really comes down to technique is going to overpower true strength.
I've got like Dawson now kind of running the whole defensive front. I mean, is there anything different for you schematically really, or is it more just one guy, sort of different meeting room setup?
One guy, different meeting rooms. I mean, he came in, Coach Dawson recruited me, so we had a pretty good relationship already. I knew the kind of the way he was going to teach his techniques and his way of playing the D-line. So I think a bunch of the guys have also really come to like his way also.
It's the other side of the ball, but obviously everybody's interested in the new quarterbacks. Do you know Chuba? You toured him around, didn't you?
Yeah, I hosted him. Yeah.
What's he sort of like, and does that relationship go back further, or was it just recently?
Just really recently. I mean, I knew of his family back in AZ growing up, but Chuba's a great dude. I mean, he's here to compete and play football. He's going to help us win games, I think, and it's going to be a great competition between all those guys to see who comes out on top. But I mean, Chuba's a really good, athletic guy. He's pretty smart with the ball, so we'll just have to wait and see what he does.
What impressions have, if any, thoroughly has Casey Thompson made on you?
Yeah, I mean, when he first got here, it seemed like he was a pretty vocal leader at Texas. So, I mean, he came in trying to kind of bring that also with him. So, but other than that, I mean, he's also a great dude. I mean, there's not really anything bad to say on any of these guys. Like you said, it's on the other side of the ball. So really, my job is to get to them. So we'll see how they like it when we get to them.
Jared mentioned that he was trying to tone down the yelling a little bit now that he's, more people are looking up to him in the program. How have you seen him change his approach?
Yeah, I mean, it's loud in there, so you got to yell. But I feel like the yelling and that demeanor has really toned down, I think, for a lot of us, and really just trying to uplift guys and bring them around us, because I think that's probably going to be the best way to do that.
Why do you think that's changed?
I mean, some guys react different. I mean, everyone's different from coaching style to how they're critiqued or whatever. So you can't just yell at everyone. Sometimes you got to sit down and have a conversation with them after practice and ask what's going on, or just kind of help them that way instead of just blatantly yelling at them.
You still taking, like 1 million credit hours this semester?
Yeah, I think I'm in 15. I'm taking anatomy, physics, and I'm normal psych.
How do you do it? Like, is it just all time management?
Yeah, it's spring ball and the works of it kind of throws a little wrinkle into my time studying. So we're gonna see how the next few weeks go with that.
What's harder, studying for physics or studying for Ohio State?
Probably physics.
Anything else for Ty? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Say, Travis, what have you seen from that quarterback room with the new quarterbacks in?
Yeah, we've got a room full of great guys in there. We got the 2 transfers that came in with Chuba and Casey, and they've both shown great leadership traits. Very vocal guys, and then we got Logan, Heinrich, Maddie, and all those other guys. And one of them's going to have to push through and really show their traits throughout spring to be the starter.
Hey, Travis, where are you at health-wise, and how much of spring ball do you get to participate in?
Yeah, I'm coming along. Shoulders getting better. Doing drills, staying out of the contact stuff, that's it. So, I'm really working on technique, footwork, and just, trying to be the best leader on the offense and in the tight end room.
Perhaps what have you seen from Thomas?
Thomas has done a great job. He's developed very nicely from when he first got here, and he's going to continue to develop, and he's going to be a great player for us.
What would you say his best trait is?
He runs great routes. He's quick. His best trait is he works his behind off. He's always doing extra stuff, always asking questions, always wanting to learn just more and more. So Fedoni's going to be a great guy for us.
Travis, when's the last time your dad's coached at one of your football teams?
Man, it's been a dream come true to have him come to Nebraska, and he actually coached me in high school my senior year. So I'm really looking forward to him being here.
Who else is rising through that tight end room right now?
Honestly, all the guys. It's crazy how much each single guy has improved. With Hickman, Fedoni, AJ and Carney, and then the other guys. You got Brewington, all those other guys. They've done a great job. We've been all off season just been grinding in the film room, grinding in the weight room, trying to get stronger, trying to understand the game of football, more, and going over schemes and stuff. So I'm really excited that that we have guys in that room who are really good to be around, and it should be fun with them.
Did you always know you were going to come back for one more year, or how that crystallized to you?
Yeah, it was in the back of my mind all year last year. Some things happened, injuries, stuff like that kind of made it easy for me to make my decision. But I'm here and I'm ready to go, and I'm excited to be back.
Did your dad know he was joining the staff before you did? If so, how did he tell you?
You know, I don't really know. I don't know what happened or whatnot. But you know, I'm just glad he's here. So.
I know Pittsburgh used 2 tight ends a lot last year. Have you been watching a lot?
Yeah, we've been watching, you know, a lot of Pittsburgh film. They had good tight ends there, and you know the different ways that they used them is pretty unique. So we're really excited to be in this offense, you know, under Coach Whip.
Would you say it's pretty different from last year?
You know, there's things that are different, and then there's things that are the same. You know, there's formations and stuff that are a little different. There's, you know, the verbal stuff's a little different, but that's about it.
With that being said, how much learning? How do you describe the amount of learning that you've had to do with this new offense?
Yeah, you know, it's been a grind. You know, not just me personally, but for the whole offense. You know, we've been getting together and, you know, just going over routes and concepts and stuff. So it's, you know, we've learned over the past couple weeks in winter conditioning, and we're continuing to learn to go out there and try to be the best on the field.
You know, blocking.
Austin, obviously, what's it like being out there without him? And then, do you know when he works out at the combine? If you watching what he does?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, out there today, there's a period where we go and you know, the tight ends catch balls from the quarterbacks, and it was just me out there, and I was like, "Where's Oz?" So it was kind of different. You know, I know he's killing it. He's been training down in Florida. I think I just talked to him, you know, recently before this. He's on a plane down to Indy right now for the combine and stuff, and he works out on Thursday. I think Thursday afternoon through Thursday night. So I'm really excited to see how he does. I know he's going to kill it.
I know you know blocking. Who do you see as someone who's made an improvement in the tight end room in that area?
For blocking, you know, once again, I mean, the whole room is, you know, really improved. So, you know, there's every single guy, you know, something that's huge in blocking is the footwork and stuff and striking, you know, hand placement. We've really worked hard on that in the off season. You know, in the weight room and just going out in the Hawks and doing stuff by ourselves. So the whole room's improved. You know, guys are excited and we're ready to go.
I think there's this thought that there's sort of a bounce in the program with the new staff hires and some of these portal additions. Do you sense that, and what's it kind of like in this portal era as a player with all these new faces, people coming and going?
Yeah, you know, I was a guy who was in the portal myself a couple of years ago. It was completely different. There was not as many guys that were in. You know, you come into a program, you don't really know anybody, but then you start forming relationships with guys and, you know, hanging out with them and getting to know them really well. And then they're your brother. So, you know, you're around them constantly. It's been different. You know, seeing the guys that left last year and all these new guys come in, it's been different. But, you know, you get used to it. You're around the guys, you know, you form relationships with them. And, you know, there's definitely excitement around the program right now. The guys are ready to go. You know, we're just excited to be back out in the field and done with all the running and the mat drills and stuff. So,
How would you describe the personality the team's 2 new quarterbacks? Just their personality.
Yeah, you know, they're both very hardworking guys. They're very vocal. You know, they're good guys to be around outside of, you know, being up here in the office and on the field. You know, they're fun to be around, and you know, I think they're 2 great leaders. So.
Travis, what did you learn from Austin in your guys' time spent together?
Yeah, you know, Oz and I were roommates, constantly around each other. You know, we had a great relationship, still do. You know, we're gonna be friends for our lives. You know, he's really taught me, you know, just to work hard, and you know, who cares what anybody else thinks? It's about the team. It's not about what other people are thinking outside the program. And just you know, really work hard and, you know, do your craft and perfect it.
Anything else for Travis? All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Elsewhere, we'll turn it over to Coach to.
Well, welcome back. We got an early start to spring this year. A lot of good things about that. It's great to be back on the field with the players. It's been really energizing and invigorating having some of the new faces that we have around, the coaching staff and on the team. There's going to be a lot of hard work and a lot of good things happening, but there's a lot of work left to do. A lot of pieces don't make a good team. You got to bring those pieces together to make a good team, and we have a long way to go in that regard. But it's been a lot of fun being around the guys again, and they were really anxious to get started. So it was a good start to spring.
Questions?
How do you work out the reps at quarterback when you want to open competition and all that? How does that start off for you?
Well, just get as many reps as we can is number one, and we're splitting teams. We had 2 teamworks going every time, so it doubles the reps, and we're a little short at a couple positions, but we need to keep doing that for some of the positions with a lot of guys to make sure everybody gets the reps they need.
What are your expectations in terms of cleanliness for the offense in the early stages?
I hope they're all washing their hands. That's a good way to fight the pandemic. And we got some guys that don't even shower after practice. So.
You know what I mean. Who took the first snap?
I'll answer Sip's question.
That's good.
Thank you.
There was some sloppy out there, and it wasn't all on the field. We got some new coaches that need to learn where to go for each period and how we do things in practice. We're marrying a lot of things, and guys got to get familiar with things. We got to get familiar with some new concepts and ideas and terms and signals and places to go in practice, and that's coaches and players alike. And that was kind of expected today, but it'll get better fast.
Who took the first snap? The one team, the quarterback-wise.
Can't tell you for sure because I haven't watched it yet, and I was with the twos today, with the young guys when we split. So I don't even know for sure.
Is there a group of quarterbacks that are with the one, like a top group?
We rotated them today, but I was down with the young guys, and Harburg was down there, and Richie was down there, and Masker was down there, and saw Logan down there, and so that there'll be a rotation, and again, it's going to be a fight.
So how is everything meshing together with the coaches, bringing in pretty much a whole new offensive style? Being your first practice?
I think it's a work in progress. It's been great sitting in a room with smart guys that see the game a little different, had some different ideas, but it's amazing how much you have to go through to make sure that you're on the same page with everything. I mean, the name of every blitz and pressure that you bring, the name of every front and what we call the coverages, what we call concepts, what the signal is for the concepts, how we handle certain things in protection. There's just, to marry things together, it's a lot of work, and we've been putting in a lot of work, but I'm sure there's some stones that are still unturned that we'll get to through spring.
Casey dealt with that thumb injury, I think, over the second half of the year at Texas last year. Does he have any limitations in terms of what he can do this spring, or does he?
No, he won't be limited at all. I think he's still in the training room working with it and just getting it loosened up and feeling normal again, but it doesn't seem to affect him right now.
What kind of things do you have to overcome on the offensive line with Teddy and Turner out and finding a center? How do you hope that all comes together over these 15 practices?
We got depth at the offensive line right now, and a lot of guys that had a good first day. Obviously, we're missing 2 of hopefully our main pieces, and those guys are taking mental reps. What's great about that is we're going to get reps for a lot of other guys to try to compete and see who the guys are going to be on the field, and we got to field the best 5 guys and get them out there, but we have a long time to try to figure that out, where everybody fits and how it all comes together.
Yeah, I grew up in a state where continuity in a football program was sort of held up like religion or gospel. I'm wondering how you are coming to grips with a program where continuity is not really the thing anymore, and if you're seeing some of the benefits to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's challenges to it, obviously. But again, I can't say enough about the guys that are here, what they're demanding out of their room, what I've seen from them in recruiting already. There's a lot of things to work through with new guys, just getting familiar with each other and familiar with what the expectations are and what everybody is thinking and communication. But it's a fun challenge too. And like I said, these guys are bringing in some fresh ideas and a lot of energy, and I think it's going to benefit us.
How do you assess the value of continuity in today's landscape where, pieces are moving all over the board?
Yeah, continuity is going to be hard, especially in regards to your roster. That's just the way college football is moving, and you're going to have to do a great job as a coaching staff every year, probably plugging in some new pieces and teaching guys a lot faster, right? The days of recruiting 25 freshmen and keeping them until they're in their third year and training them and getting ready to play, it's just not quite going to be that way anymore. With some guys it is, and with some other guys you're going to have new pieces on your team in winter, maybe even in summer, and we got to do a great job as a coaching staff getting them on the same page with everybody else.
You mentioned some, working through some of the things with new coaches on the field. Did it feel any different for you? Like with the new group, is your day structured any differently than it was before?
No, I'd say the only thing, it's just great having Coach Whip here, and that gave me a chance to go down and spend some more time with the defense. But we're all pulling the rope in the same direction. We're all in the field coaching, and there's 150 guys. There's plenty of people to talk to and plenty of problems to fix on the field for all of us.
What can you get done on special teams in the spring? I know that's a process building up, but what's like the goals of 15 practices with that phase of the game?
Yeah, I thought we made some improvements last year. I think consistency, getting more guys on special teams is a big thing. We need our starters on some of the special teams units, and we need complete buy-in from everybody. I think some of the assistants are really putting a bug in guys' ear about making sure they're contributing. And Coach Bush, I was in the meeting this morning, did a great job. We started out with kickoff team today. Energy, enthusiasm, and detail were all great. So we got to keep improving on those things and keep getting more talent on the field.
Did you spend time with the defense the previous 3 years, 4 years?
Yes, but I just had to carry a lot of the load on offense, or I did, however you want to look at it, and I still expect to, but I know they're in capable hands if I need to go down and spend some time on the other side.
What are your initial impressions of the way Bill Bush is running that special teams unit?
Well, he was with us last year, and I think a lot of the improvement we made were because of him schematically. Now he's got a voice, which is great, running the meetings, and there's not two layers of communication then. And right away you could see a lot of buy-in from players and a lot of detail being coached that I think is going to make us better.
How did he help you guys improve last year on that?
He was able to help us off the field and maybe get ahead and scout and give us some schematic ideas.
Coach, what are some day one things that you've done to kind of put the winning mentality in this team? Because we obviously know fourth quarters last year were a struggle for this team, especially on offense.
I'm really impressed with the leadership that we got right now. Garrett Nelson's done an unbelievable job on defense throughout all winter conditioning. Really impressed with some even the new guys and just the energy they're bringing and the look in their eye to be great on the field. And I'm not saying we didn't have that. Some of these guys just seem to really have that. And I want to be on the field with a bunch of competitors that when they have a chance to make a play when it matters, they're going to make it. And some of these guys certainly give you that impression. I haven't seen them in those situations yet here at Nebraska, but certainly impressed with the energy and leadership we're getting right away.
Scott, it's challenging for a new guy to come in and be a leader. So is it challenging for the new quarterbacks to come in and have the guys follow right away?
Yes and no. Those guys have been studying hard, and I think they're very knowledgeable about what guys are supposed to be doing. The guys that are here and the new guys have all played enough football to know what the expectations are and what works and what doesn't. And they're doing a really good job of holding people accountable and bringing energy that other people are following. And you don't have to be front and center all the time, particularly if you're new, to be a good leader. There's ways to do it without being front and center. And eventually, whoever the quarterback is, we're going to want to be one of the main guys. And I think we got several that are ready to do that.
You mentioned Garrett Nelson doing an unbelievable job leading on the defensive side. Is there anybody you want to single out on offense?
I think that's a work in progress too. We got a lot of new pieces on offense. I maybe would comment on Alante Brown. He's had a really good offseason, and He really has a voice in the wide receiver room that we've needed, and I hope he keeps coming on the way that he has, because we're seeing some good things from him.
You have over 15 scholarship newcomers here for spring. I mean, do you feel like this is the new norm where you're going to have this many new guys coming in every spring compared to maybe what it used to be?
Yeah, time will tell, but I would guess so. Yeah. I think that's just happening across the board, that, teams just aren't taking full recruiting classes of high school kids and looking for other ways to improve the team. And again, that's going to be a lot of work for the coaches to make sure that you get new guys up to speed on X's and O's and scheme and terminology and everything else. And I think we're probably going to need to be ready to do that every year.
Nick Harris said that there was more downhill running. That's what he said. Is the run game significantly different than last season? Whose run game is it?
No. If he noticed a difference, I think it's probably a compliment to the guys up front and the guys coaching the guys up front. The schemes weren't different. Hopefully they felt a little different to the defense.
Does Coach Whipple bring in like his own sort of run scheme, or was it the same as yours? Or,
Pretty much the same as what we've been doing. He certainly has ideas and will bring a lot to the table, but I think for the most part, what we did today is consistent with what we've done before.
About a month ago, you mentioned some guys that were out. Is Casey Rogers available? I know he got kind of teamed up in that Iowa game at the end. Is he all right, or are there any other guys that are out?
Yeah, I didn't bring my list. Obviously, Travis Vokalek won't be back until summer. Casey will probably miss most or to all of the spring. Luke Reimer had another procedure, and he could be back later in spring, but probably be summer. I hate listing them because we're missing quite a few guys that we're expecting to help us next year, and a couple up front on the offensive line. And again, we miss those guys, but the positive side of that is there's a lot of other guys getting reps that we need to develop.
Coach talked about how you really haven't singled out too many people on offense. How much of that correlates with having a new coaching staff and learning the terminology?
I don't think much. We just need guys to step forward, and we certainly have a lot of guys capable of doing that. Some of them are young, but we need guys to step into those roles and take advantage of that.
Scott, you mentioned Alante. I'm just curious, what's your sense of what you have in the receiver room and what they have to do this spring?
We got a lot of guys in the receiver room, and they're not getting away with much right now with Mickey in there. So they know the expectations and the standards, and they know there's going to be a lot of competition in the room because we got a lot of guys on a lot of depth. Today was day one. They're going to have 15 practices this spring and a bunch of time over summer and fall to try to battle it out to see who the main guys are going to be, and they're off to a good start.
Those transfer offensive linemen that you've got, Hunter Anthony and Kevin Williams, are those guys that you'd like to sort of put in a spot and let them compete for a job, or because they both played multiple positions in previous stops?
Yeah, and I think they both probably could. Coming in and learning stuff new, we're going to try to leave them in one place during the spring if we can. But I think both are capable of playing guard and tackle.
You have a guy who's actually moved to the center spot, or are you just trying people out there right now?
It's TBD again. I think we have a lot of guys that can do that. Trent Hickson was playing there today. Ethan Piper was playing there today. I think Turner, when he comes back, could play there. So there's a bunch of options, and when the dust all settles, we'll get our best 5 guys on the field.
With the way Nori played last year, the transfers, we talking about right side guard and tackle with Williams and Anthony?
One was on the right, one was left today.
How's your role with special teams changed this year, if at all?
Not really at all. I was involved with it last year too. I think I'll have a little more time with some more help on offense. It's going to be great. I wasn't much of an NFL player, so I had to make my living on special teams, and got to know it pretty intimately. And if there's some things that I can help with, I'm certainly going to be able to have more time to do that.
What's the advantage of a head coach being a little more involved in special teams?
I think if the head coach cares about special teams, the rest of the team sees the importance, and you get buy-in from everybody. And we're certainly working toward that.
We have so many good ideas from so many different people, have been so many different places. What is your process for distilling that down and saying, this is what we're going to be about in the spring? How do you go about sorting those ideas and prioritizing?
You know, we want to be a little simple this spring. We didn't have trouble last year creating big plays or moving the ball at times. It was being consistent at the little things when we needed it. And I think if we get good at blocking technique and running with it and throwing it and catching it, and we can change a route or we can change a run concept, and if we block with good technique, it's going to work. So we got plenty of time to get creative with a lot of smart people. Spring's really going to be about fundamentals and doing the simple things well.
Is there one or two particular fundamentals that when you look back at last year, you're like, man, if we had just done that better, you want to focus on in the spring?
You know, I don't want to single one out really, because I don't want to act like I'm pointing fingers at something that went wrong. I was really impressed today with the way the line just came off the ball. And, you know, if we can get more movement initially in the run game, I think that's going to help us a lot.
For guys who are going to be playing more special teams this year, from your experience, what adjustments do you have to make to succeed in that unit?
Well, you know, I don't want to kick a turd here, but I'm sorry, the farm terms come out sometimes. We got to punt it well, kick it well, and have some guys that are dangerous in the return game. And for the most part, I thought our coverage units did a good job last year. There's still improvement to be made. I think we got some guys that are going to be able to catch the ball and do something with it, and we got to punt it well and make our kicks. And we hopefully added some guys that are going to be able to do that and are bringing some guys back.
Bushini is advertised, like just watching him for a couple. I'm sure you've seen him a couple of times. Is he what you were hoping to be coming in?
I actually haven't seen him yet. We were inside today and we were working on kickoff. So we can't really be on the field with the players and balls in the winter, and looking forward to seeing it, but I haven't seen it yet.
A couple guys up here mentioned Jacques as somebody who's in really good shape. You struggled with that going into the season last year, and it cost him playing time. What from your perspective, what have you seen from him, and what do you want to see overall from the running back this spring?
There's competition in that room too. Gabe Irvin's another one that we'll miss for spring. He's doing a great job trying to get back. We got Ramir back and Jock back. Brody Belt's going to take some reps back there. Anthony Grant's new to the program. I thought all those guys had a good first day, and the start of it for Jock is he's had a good off season, and he looks the part right now. So you know, we have a lot of guys that, and we're not unique, a lot of guys that need to grow up and kind of become men and become reliable pieces to our team. And I think Jock and several others are doing a good job of trying to get there.
Take a couple more, Coach. Okay.
Thanks, guys.